Call of Duty 2 is the second installment in the Call of Duty series, which really shaped the way Call of Duty looks nowadays, with a lot of mechanics that is still in use till this day, like the regeneration health and the enemy AI and a lot of stuff till maybe Call of Duty World War 2. Call of Duty 2 is a direct sequel to Call of Duty 1 with a lot of similarities, like the Three Armies campaign. You got the Soviet, the British, the Americans, and this time around you start off with the Soviet army. I feel like he made you start with the Soviet army because they felt bad about what they did to the Soviet army in the first game, so they made it the best army in Call of Duty 2. So here we go.
The armies of Nazi Germany begin their conquest of Europe. First of all is Poland, then Denmark, Norway.
Shut the fuck up. I'm sorry, but I can't be bothered about the story of the old Call of Duty titles because it's really just in World War II games and it's repetitive and you see it 1,000 times before. So I don't really care about the story. You start your journey with the Private Vasily and his teammates, which are really angry that you use potato instead of real grenade in the training.
These are potatoes, Comrade Commissar. Why are we using potatoes instead of real grenades?
Because real grenades are valuable. In fact, they are worth a lot more than you are.
Oh, of course, Comrade Commissar. My mistake.
Right off the start, this game is stunning. I can't think of any game that was released in 2005 and looked this amazing. You gotta give them props for the graphics for this one. And the game is 1,000 times better than the first game in the technical side of things. But it's clear that Call of Duty 2 is more like a Marvel movie instead of the horror in the first COD. So this one is like more heroism and more like, oh, we gotta win, we're the Russian, or we gotta win, we're the American. The first one was like, no, this is war, fuck you. This one is more childish. But that doesn't mean it's bad, because they almost nailed everything in the Soviet campaign. From the early levels in this game, especially in this battle, I knew why people prefer the old CODs. There's an addition that I really liked about Call of Duty 2. Some mission, even though it's really a little addition, a small addition, there's some mission which has sandbox elements. They give you 3 objects or 2 or 4 objects, and you get to choose what to do first, like Tomb Raider series or the Sniper Elite series, but smaller. But what I didn't like about the Soviet campaign was some stupid objects like fixing phone wires.
Boring.
Or destroying tanks. Like, I know it's a World War II game, but still, nobody wanna spend like 10 minutes or 15 minutes only for fixing a phone wire or destroying tanks. Like, these things are not quality content. And also, in this game, the German really throws a lot of grenades. I know Germany was rich because it was sponsored by Hitler Shot Legend, but still, that's a lot of grenades. So yeah, that's the Soviet campaign. Pretty good, started off real strong. Will the other campaigns be able to keep up? Let's see. The British campaign led by Captain Price, a fan favorite yet again. Unfortunately, he has been voice acted by a different actor. I don't like it when video games do that. And McGregor?
Is your stand switched on? Job, and it's switched on.
So, the British fight in different locations, including Egypt, Libya, and Tunis, or as you call it, Tunisia. And finally, France. I have pretty mixed feelings about the British campaign, because on one hand, this is a really diverse campaign, you know, like you do many things in this one, but on the other side, it's really repetitive. Like, take a look at this desert. Do you like it? Well, get ready, because you'll see it for 13 missions, and this campaign is the longest out of the three, and pretty much at this point in the game the enemies are a lot more in this one, and the grenades are even more than the Soviet campaign, which was already a disaster. There is definitely some difficulty spike here, and there is also a lot of bad design in this campaign, because okay, take a look at this. You have 4 different angles, and also there isn't much cover that can protect you from the Germans. It's pretty much a dead end. This is the second example. You're in a car. By the way, the controls are awful, okay? And there is Germans that shoots Panzerschreck. So you have to kill them. Problem being, the locations of the Germans are unpredictable and they are harder to shoot. And the main problem, if they shot you one time, you're dead. But on the other hand, there were some cool missions in the British campaign. Like, there is some really much content in this one. You get to stand behind the tank, you get to play as a tank, which by the way is a regenerative hell. And also you get to call the artilleries.
Fire mission TRP!
More and more stuff. It's definitely the most diverse out of the 3 campaigns. So, as I said, it's mixed. And here I start to notice a little problem with Call of Duty 2. In Call of Duty 1, pretty much, you have like maybe 25-30 enemies per fight. In Call of Duty 2, it's like 50. It's almost double that was in Call of Duty 1. For no reason at all. Like, some areas are crowded with enemies. That's being said, for the British campaign, I can skip it all day. Now into the American campaign. Oof. Wow. I think that's almost a perfect campaign. I almost got nothing bad to say about this campaign. This campaign has the most brutal and the most vicious fights of the all campaigns. Like, wow. I know I said the Soviet campaign was the best, but no. American campaign is actually a masterpiece. I really like how the main frame of this campaign is securing an area and then defending that area and then falling back and then pushing forward and then falling back and then fight the enemy. Wow. You can feel the damage that has been done to the American soldiers. So is the German soldiers. As well as seeing your friendlies getting shot and see a lot of casualties in the battles. Talking about the battles, it has many iconic battles, like D-Day. Hill 400. The American campaign, 10 out of 10. Now into the multiplayer. First off, you have 5 different modes, including very basic team deathmatch, which is free for all, and search and destroy, headquarters, and capture the flag. These are the main 5 modes for the game, but try to find a game And I got in. Okay, cool. But what the hell is that? This community really did the number on Call of Duty 2 multiplayer, because I can't find any normal game now. This game community really did a good job on modding Call of Duty multiplayer. Problem being that if you keep modding a game, eventually the players will stop playing the actual servers and only play the modded servers. So that's why I can't find the normal game in Call of Duty 2, even though it's pretty much quite popular, because it has like 300 players or something. So yeah, unfortunately you can't find the normal game, but still the modded server are very fun. You can run, you have different guns which are not in World War II games, and as well as the gunplay is still fun, and you have different guns, the different armies you can join. It's pretty much a classic. So that was pretty much it for Call of Duty 2. Let me give you the pros and the cons for Call of Duty 2. Starting off with the cons. Green means it's a small problem, yellow means it's a medium problem, and red means it's a huge problem. Starting off with the small problems, sometimes the automatic save system of the game stumbles. It only happened once for me, but it was real annoying. It pushed me back 7 or 8 minutes back. And also sometimes there is animation stuttering, which was annoying for a little bit, but it's not that big of a deal and it doesn't affect the game that much. Now into the medium problems. Starting off with the enemy and the friendlies AI. Everyone in this game is super dumb, but it's not that big of a deal, but it's definitely there. Some areas are really crowded with enemies. Okay, and that's for the most of the game, to be honest. And sometimes enemies throws way too much grenades. That's it for the medium problem. Now into the large problem. I think what Call of Duty 2 really didn't do as well as Call of Duty 1, the aspect of the game being repetitive. Call of Duty 2 is definitely more repetitive than Call of Duty 1, and especially in the British campaign, and due to some areas having a bad design or just a desert. So that was pretty much it for the cons. Call of Duty 2 is an amazing sequel to an already amazing original game, which has an epic battle and atmosphere, and also has an open gameplay, which also features insane graphics and technically stunning game, amazing gunplay, and a very enjoyable multiplayer with a lot of mods, which still can be played today. If you like this video, make sure to watch my Call of Duty 1 review.
Friendly chopper inbound.